Oh man, we finally got to talk about Marius the Gallant. And trust me, this dude is not just some fancy horseman with a shiny sword. Nope, this guy's a straight-up menace once you build him right. He's rocking those big debuffs, melting waves like butter, and flipping fights in ways that'll make you double-check your team comps like, wait, did he just solo that? Now yeah, he's not exactly your go-to single-target nuker like Coldheart or Royal Guard. But when it comes to wiping out waves, boosting allies, and ruining enemy buffs, bro's built different. Plus, that passive that claps back every time the dragon tries to drain your turn meter? That's just disrespectful. So, in this video, we're breaking down exactly why Marius the Gallant might just be one of the most fun and versatile champions Raid's dropped in a while. We'll cover what makes him tick, how to build him, what roles he shines in, and of course, who should actually grind for him. Let's get into it. So, if you've been thinking about trying out Raid Shadow Legends, or maybe starting a brand new account, this is honestly the perfect time to do it. Just hit that special link down in the description. You'll kick things off with Elenaril as your sign-up legendary, and Michelangelo as your 7th day reward. And get this, if you use the promo code Dessert Queen, you'll also unlock 2 Hanorok, another insane legendary champion, completely free. But that's not all. As you level up, you'll grab even more awesome epic champions along the way. So yeah, what are you waiting for? Go grab Raid using the link below, jump in, and help support the channel. Alright, now let's get into the video. Marius the Gallant is a lance-wielding void legendary that you can actually earn for free through a special set of in-game missions. Yeah, you heard that right, free. And that's already huge because not many legendary champions are available without spending a dime. But what really sets him apart? He's one of the rare few champions in Raid that comes with Enfeeble. Basically, a debuff that makes your enemies hit like wet noodles while it's active. Imagine bosses or tough waves just flopping their attacks while Marius just keeps controlling the fight. On top of that, he's loaded with AoE skills that hit every enemy on the field, which makes him a monster for clearing waves and chipping down bosses. And let's not forget his passive, which makes him completely immune to turn meter manipulation, so no annoying debuffs messing with his turn order. Put it all together, and Marius isn't just a solid addition to your roster. He's a dungeon slayer, a wave clear machine, and a utility powerhouse who shines in tons of content. Seriously, this guy brings a ton of value, especially for free-to-play players. Alright, so you're hyped about getting Marius, but here's the deal. He's not just handed to you on a silver platter. To unlock him, you first need to complete all the Arbiter missions. Yeah, that's right. There are 286 Arbiter missions in total, and once you finish those, the Marius missions open up, which have 180 missions to go through. So in total, you're looking at 466 missions before Marius finally joins your roster. Not gonna lie, it's a grind. But here's the thing, it's a grind worth doing. The good news? The Arbiter missions aren't too brutal. They're actually pretty manageable, even if you're not endgame. Plus, completing them gives you some really solid rewards along the way. Not to mention Arbiter herself, their F, which is huge for new and mid-game players. So yeah, while it's a bit of a journey, it's totally doable. And by the time you reach Marius, you'll feel like you've earned one of the best free champions in the game. So, let's talk about what Marius actually does in your team. Because this dude isn't just a flashy legendary with a cool weapon. Marius is a powerful debuffer and a legit wave-clearing beast. He's got serious AoE potential, meaning he can wipe out entire groups of enemies in seconds. Now, he can hit hard on single targets too. But here's the thing, if you really want him to crush those boss fights and reach those juicy enemy max HP damage caps, you're gonna have to invest in him. We're talking solid gear, good masteries, and proper stats. Without that, he won't outperform the pure single-target nukers in fights like Spider. But here's where Marius really shines. He completely changes your team's rhythm. His A2 strips enemy buffs clean off, making it way easier for your team to deal real damage. And then there's his A3, which is just crazy. It gives him an extra turn while boosting accuracy and defense for your entire squad. That combo of control, support, and damage, it's elite. Now, the guy's also rocking high natural defense and that clutch heal ability, which makes enemies hit like they're swinging pool noodles. Because of that, he's even capable of soloing certain areas. He's that tanky and reliable. When it comes to dragon runs, he's not your main nuker, but he's the perfect teammate. He speeds up your runs, clears waves like a champ, and adds that extra layer of control to keep things clean. But the real reason you want Marius in your dragon team is because of his passive. Every time the dragon tries to drain your team's turn meter with its breath attack, Marius activates and basically nullifies that move. Since his damage scales with enemy max HP, he can shred right through that breath attack's HP limit, making the dragon's big move completely useless, and even avoiding that nasty stun debuff it comes with. So yeah, he's not your main DPS carry, but Marius is the kind of champ who makes every team better just by showing up. Alright, now let's break down what makes Marius such an absolute unit in battle. Because this guy's kit is stacked. First up, his aura. And it's actually a really strong one. He boosts ally DF in all battles by 35%. That means whether you're in dungeons, arena, or Doom Tower, your whole team instantly gets beefier. It's one of those always useful auras that never feels wasted. Now let's talk about his A1, Auric Lance. This one hits all enemies and has a 35% base chance to place that deadly enfeeble debuff for 1 turn. When you fully book it, that chance jumps up to 50%, and you also get bonus damage upgrades along the way. Enfeeble is an insane debuff because it basically forces enemies to land weak hits, meaning they won't apply most of their nasty effects on your team. It's like flipping the fight in your favor before it even starts. And here's where it gets spicy. His passive ties directly into this. Whenever an enemy tries to mess with his turn meter or hit him with a decrease SP debuff, Marius counterattacks with Auric Lance, instantly throwing that enfeeble back at them. So not only is he immune to all that turn meter reduction stuff, but he punishes anyone who tries. It's a constant stream of enfeeble debuffs flying around. Total control. This combo becomes especially nasty in the Dragon's Lair. When the dragon goes into breath form and tries to wipe your team's turn meter, Marius just snaps back with a counterattack, drops enfeeble, and completely shuts down that big stun attack that usually ruins your run. It's one of those rare interactions that actually counters the dragon's entire mechanic, and it feels amazing to watch. Moving on to his A2, Death or Glory. This skill hits all enemies 3 times, and each hit reduces the duration of enemy buffs by 1 turn. That might not sound flashy, but it's incredibly useful in fights where enemies constantly stack buffs, like Hydra or buff-heavy dungeon waves. The best part? He can do this without worrying about Polymorph turning him into a sheep, since he's reducing duration instead of directly removing buffs. It's such a clean, safe form of control that just makes him reliable across so many situations. And then there's his A3, Galloping Thunder, which is honestly one of the most underrated support moves in Raid right now. He places a 50% increased accuracy and a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 3 turns. That's huge for both survivability and consistency. Then he stuns the enemy with the highest turn meter for 1 turn. And if that wasn't enough, he gives himself an extra turn right after. So he's not just helping the team. He's setting himself up for another attack or a quick cycle back into his other skills. That's top-tier tempo control. Alright, so here's the big question. Who should actually go for Marius the Gallant? And the short answer? Anyone who can get him should. But here's the catch. He's locked behind hundreds of missions, so you're not going to grab him overnight. You've got to earn this guy. We're talking about serious progression through the Arbiter missions before you even unlock the Marius mission line. So yeah, this isn't a casual weekend project. It's more like a long-term raid grind. That's why Marius is mainly going to appeal to late-game and end-game players. The ones who've already got stable farming teams, resources, and patience to power through that mission list. By the time you unlock him, your account will probably be strong enough to actually build him right and take full advantage of everything he brings. Now, here's the thing though. Even endgame players who already have stacked rosters shouldn't sleep on him. Sure, you might have beaten most of the toughest dungeons already, but Marius still brings something fresh to your team comps. His control, his buff-debuff combo, and his passive counter mechanics make him a fun and reliable plugin for so many situations. Plus, he's got wave clearing speed that makes him a solid campaign farmer, even if you're just looking to grind out XP or level up food champs faster. And for mid-game players pushing toward endgame, bro, he's a dream. He's like that champion who makes everything just a little easier. Waves, dungeons, bosses, you name it. His Enfeeble shuts down a ton of dangerous attacks. His buffs keep your team alive longer, and his immunity to turn meter control means he's never really out of the fight. So yeah, Marius isn't one of those collect and forget champions. He's absolutely worth the grind, worth the books, and worth the time. Whether you're free to play or a veteran whale, the moment you unlock him, you'll realize this dude's built different. Bottom line, Marius the Gallant isn't just another legendary. He's a long-term investment that pays off big. If you can earn him, build him, and use him right, you'll see why people are calling him one of the best free champions RAID has ever dropped. And hey, before we wrap up, huge shout out to RAID Shadow Legends for keeping the grind alive. If you haven't jumped in yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that link in the description, download RAID, and start your journey. It seriously helps the channel out and keeps these videos rolling every week. Alright guys, that's it for today's breakdown. Drop your thoughts about Marius the Gallant in the comments. Tell me if you've built him yet. And of course, don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.